Hello, builders. So part of my build and public mantra is to really show what I do behind the scenes. So I've created a little skill here called the YouTube video pre-launch audit. Now you might be wondering, like, oh my gosh, G puts out a bunch of different content. What does he do? How does he edit and prepare all of the different stuff? Well, I have this skill here. And basically, what it does is it reviews the video that I've uploaded onto YouTube. It flags anything major that I need to edit and fix. It uses the YouTube DLP. I believe it's a package or a library or app. It's an open source product that basically enables within a Python virtual environment to be able to allow for I think it's programmatically, but I think nowadays very much so to help agents be able to watch and understand, not understand because that it does it itself, but to be able to have access to YouTube videos and to be able to do all the things and with it. Hopefully YouTube doesn't shut it down, but one of the things that we do is based off of the advice that Thoric gave and my own personal version of the Claude HTML alignment pages, because kind of taking it away from just using artifacts like Anthropic provides, but instead putting it in Codex, which is the only subscription that I have nowadays. I stopped using Claude because of the whole Fable 5 and so much BS. It's awful being a Anthropic non-enterprise customer, although enterprise customer, they just charge you up the wazoo. Anyways, that's totally different video. But basically, we're running YouTube DLP. It basically finds the unlisted video, 13 seconds, which was the vlog that I had just recorded. It's on my channel. There's a working title, and then basically it does. It first asks me for permission for doing further research. So, this video was just recently uploaded, so I don't know if a transcript is going to be available. If there's a transcript that's automatically generated, it'll run through it and basically flag anything that's needed and that it has potential issue with. I'm going to just ask it, open this page, please. And it'll open it up in the browser so we can take a look at that alignment page. But yeah, this is basically the process in which I run through all of my YouTube videos to get them checked out and to be able to run everything. Blue, not sure. Try PowerShell again. I do run on WSL, so computer use and other stuff is a little bit challenging based off of WSL. But let's see if we can figure this out. Ah, it did. There we go. Just got to try a little bit harder there, GPT. I'll also ask it, can you note in agents.md how you were able to open it? So cool. This is the HTML page that was created. Look, it's poor man's version of the Claude artifacts, but I don't have to pay for Claude anymore and can use GPT, which is a way more token efficient per buck model. And it's better at this type of stuff, I feel like, than Claude, which is like doing research and, making businessy decisions, or in this case, like creatively business adjacent decisions. So in this case, right, it provides all the factual information. Oh, okay. It's older than, that's fine. Yeah, it grabs all of the public information that it's able to find. Providing the research scope here. So assess launch readiness using accessible metadata, transcription/captions if available, and direct media evidence that can be safely captured. Review the hook, expectation match, structure, pacing, editing/production polish, trust risks, privacy, disclosure, and accessibility at the confidence level supported by the evidence. Now, some of the huge things, right? Like if I'm recording a video, I want to make sure that my email is not leaked. Don't want to dox myself. So that's one of the things that it scans for, right? Reviewing the hook, the start of the videos. I guess it's up to you, the audience, to tell whether or not it's flagging stuff. I generally don't really re-record intros that much. It's more for the tutorials and walkthroughs that I create, where I'll probably re-record it if it flags something that's, I said something dumb, all that type of stuff. Structure and pacing. I feel like that's more of like if I mess up in editing and accidentally put two of the same clips right after each other. Like it usually catches those pretty well. I guess that's also part of editing slash production polish. Um, and some of the big things, right? Title, description, that type of stuff that would have taken me forever to write. And the thumbnail too, to be able to generate that in a way that hopefully draws people in. That's what's important. So this is stage one, is just to confirm that it's got right everything that I want it to do. And then stage two, right, to actually do the research, make sure that it collects all of the proper evidence, and I can review the evidence to make sure that it's not grabbing anything outside of the norm. But generally, I feel confident after running it plenty of times that I don't even need to review that. It's just the launch readiness verdict that I'm mostly caring about, and the working packet review. So all of the things that I said before: title, thumbnail, description, all the stuff that I would need to update about the video itself. So not saying that this is the be all end all, because obviously I'm not at like a million subscribers. I'm not pulling in millions of views every single day, but um, I think that this is a good important start and something to iterate on. And so, these are research scope approval gates. So if you follow my skills, this is pretty much like, instead of doing it in line in the terminal, right? This is an opportunity for me to be able to answer these multiple choice questions that it would typically ask the agents in the terminal. Instead, we bring it out to an HTML style format, and I can provide options. I can note that I need clarification, all this type of stuff with clicks, instead of working with a half the time working or not working terminal. Especially in Claude Code, seems to not work half the time and be formatted weirdly. So yeah, um, these are basically all of my answers. Pretty self-explanatory. Just choosing the default because I didn't see anything way out of pocket. It's pretty much standard for stage one. It's only if I need something in particular, but in this case, I thought it was pretty simple. So all we need to do is clear, provide in the YAML here, and you can see that it says to invoke with this skill. So we'll see it hopefully auto invoke the skill. See, it says it uses the skill. Since I've supplied it, I've also supplied the stage one approval. Weird. This is also another reason why I love working in the HTML as opposed to the terminal. It's just weird graphical glitches. Not too happy with it. But yeah, it's gonna run and work. So I'll be right back once it's gotten to stage two. All right, so here we have our stage two artifact review for the video. It was LexCorp Day 1, the vlog that I had created, and it basically says hold for targeted edit. So I basically just shoved the raw, just collection of all the clips together, put it all within one video. It says it's complete and coherent, but its first 78 seconds delay the concrete LexCorp payoff, open with hope this series stick, acknowledge windedness, and make a daily cadence commitment before showing the public dashboard. So they're asking us to recut the opening around the scorecard. Would material improve confidence and expectation matching? So just basically getting to the meat and potatoes as fast as possible. So I've done that edit. And hopefully, based off of the version that you might see on this channel, it basically likes it. And a couple of other things, like the middle is visually static but structurally salvageable. That's a very succinct way of putting it, which I think is part of the skill. The confidence is high on structure, medium on the exact cut points without frame accurate playback. So it doesn't have that. One of the limitations probably of yt-dlp. But everything is it's a continuous browser tour with an upper right face cam. Yep. They're useful. Chapter cards, tighter crops, and selective trims could make them legible without turning the vlog into a polished tutorial. Sure. Final warts in all moments needs an editorial decision. So 12:05 expected documentation is missing after a backend migration. Keeping a short version supports the radical transparency promise, but the claim that the material will be uploaded before the viewers see the video must be verified, corrected on screen, or removed. eh, I would push back on that, right? AI is not perfect. I think that it's a raw moment, made a little oopsie in the air, but I think it's makes it feel a little bit more human, which obviously AI um, might not know. But if someone is by the 12-minute mark, there's only a minute left, right? I'm sure they're gonna let it play out. And then yeah, the launch package is currently unfinished. There's a working title. Everything is empty, so that's why I'm asking it to fill those things in, right? So there's also a main owner controlled risk. So the public site explicitly frames the ledger as real financials and keeps the figure public, but using numbers amplifies these claims and can age quickly. Well, it's a vlog, so things are day by day, right? So push back with a few, agree with some others. But yeah, basically would go in and just say, yes, what were the two things that I flagged as not needing? 4 and 6. Uh, I'll go back and fix some of the other edits, but I think I'll push back on 4 and 6. They drive a bit of authenticity to this vlog. Maybe in the future we can earn a more polished version, but I'll prioritize especially especially oh my god especially at the start, whatever, they can figure out the rest. Getting the video out over correctness. So even these mistakes, right? So we got a couple of questions that need answers. There's some pretty specific stuff like title, what the thumbnail concept would be. I'd review this and then ask it to actually generate a concept of a thumbnail, and then I'll go through and iterate on various different types of the thumbnail. But usually I'll ask it to like take screenshots of different parts of the video to basically be able to come up with a thumbnail concepts. So, all stuff that I would normally be doing, but I'll ask it to help out. Really appreciate the structure. That's stuff that's very tedious to be able to do. And then, some of the hooks and some of the discussions here, but I'm going to go back, do the edits, and roll through it again. But this is basically to showcase really quickly, like one of the primary skills that I use, and you can find it in the description down below to be able to run through the pre-launch audit of my videos. So I'll probably run that even on this video, a little meta, but if you notice cuts around, probably part of, some of the suggested edits. So hopefully you like this type of video to go through some of how I run through working on YouTube. Obviously not perfect, not incredibly successful, not any Mr. Beast style level of stuff, but as an approachable early point, this is literally how I'm working through this. So if you like this type of content, like this video, subscribe, comment down below what improvements that maybe you might suggest through this process, and any other types of content that you'd like to see on this channel. Provide in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.